In the automobile industry, competition is especially challenging as firms have huge amounts of capital that can be invested in developing high quality and high tech products. So, due to the nature of the business Nissan is, the minimum quality standards is already quite high, as issues caused by poor quality products could not only result in millions of products being recalled, potential casualties, breaches of regulations, but it could also put in detriment the livelihood of the organization. So this makes quality management even more important for Nissan than ever. And I believe that due to the oligopolistic nature of the industry they involve and business activities, where responding quickly to what competitors are doing is paramount to stay current in the market, has affected them negatively and has stopped them from actually meeting high standards in more than one occasion. And you could say that this is done. This was done in order to save money and time. So a good example of this is when Nissan had to call over 3 million vehicles after realizing that their Nakata airbags were actually faulty and they were actually a hazard for their consumers. This resulted in a lot of negative advertising for the company that affected obviously customer retention and customer advocacy. I believe this is a massive quality assurance issue made by Nissan, and that this could have been easily avoided if they carried on checks on third-party components before they reach the assembly stage. This way they would have made sure that the product was in optimal conditions and they took reasonable care of the product they were delivering as well. It could be said, however, that thanks to the quality management system Nissan has in place, these types of faults can be addressed. They can be resolved before they have disastrous conditions. However, it is really expensive for the company. So it could be said that the rigorous testing of parts not built by Nissan should be added to the quality assurance list to ensure quality requirements are fulfilled. At Nissan, they have a really skillful workforce, as the location they picked, Sutherland, has already quite a manufacturing history. So what they do, they make sure that everyone is involved on the quality processes, and they give responsibility to employees at every stage of the manufacturing process. So Nissan possess mainly natural work teams who are responsible for completing the job, and they are therefore all cross-trained and they can all perform all tasks. This works obviously as a motivational driver for them, and it boosts their morale and encourages them to make better decisions. So they all take an active role on the quality process. So Nissan has in place open communication systems where regular meetings with managers and the steering committee are carried daily. And this ways that ensures that the team is working cohesively and they all have an active role on ensuring high quality products. So each member is responsible for checking that the previous stage of the production was carried effectively. So from body shop to paint shop to final assembly. Nissan also ensures that every team member understands the quality standards of the products. Therefore, they all have a same benchmark. They all thrive and strive to the same standards. They also make sure that they have a continuous development mindset embedded on the work culture, which is really linked to the Kaizen approach Nissan has. They use this way the different expertise of each employee to overachieve their customer expectations. So Nissan states that the cycle of plan, do, check, and act represent the way of working. This is famously linked to obviously total quality management system used by Nissan that is linked to the Kaizen's approach they have, or to continuous quality improvement as well. So the aim they have is to exceed customer expectations. So, and to do this, they make every employee in the organization responsible for thinking on current processes and challenging them in order to get better outcomes. So they also implement cross-functional teams where individuals from various areas of the business get together to suggest improvements, address issues, as it is, for example, with the method, they use a method called design review. This way they develop higher quality parts, and this is when during this process experts get together and then they review potential risks for each part, and therefore they act upon them as well. So Nissan takes their employees' feedback really seriously, and Nissan has customer focus drilled into their work culture. They use everyone's expertise, and by doing this, people want to work proactively, and therefore they want to fix their operations and they want to improve the way of working as well. So Nissan has a customer focus, and once this is drilled on the work culture that is so important with the casing approach they have higher standards, and they set those standards to their products. So Nissan also eliminates waste through lean manufacturing. We would be just-in-time technology, where the components for the products are made just in time to meet the demand. This way they avoid overproduction and enhance quality and facilitate control over own products as well. So regarding the effectiveness of Nissan's total quality management in meeting their customers' needs, we can say that Nissan's quality management system is actually quite good at meeting most of their internal customer needs as well as their external customers. However, failure to identify faults before they reach their customers, such as it was with the Nakata airbags, it implies that there is weaknesses within their quality process, and therefore this affects negatively the way the firm meets their customer needs overall. Nissan looks to exceed customer expectations, and the multi-directional communication channels do facilitate this, as they can communicate directly with other parts of the business. Therefore, they can address issues quicker and more efficiently as well, as they can pass it over to the relevant professional. For example, dealerships and dealers are responsible for delivering the vehicle, and therefore they are the first point of contact with consumers. So this multiple directed communication system, it allows the implementation of policies and procedures that will ultimately enhance customer experience and manage customer relations while they work alongside this part of the business. This shows how Nissan doesn't only likes to meet external customer needs, but also likes to be involved with their internal customer, which they are their employees. So they provide training, and they like to work alongside their employees as they value their feedback, and this way they empower them. So Nissan effective communication channels ensure employees know what is expected from them as well, and therefore they consider the quality of the process and not just the end result. So obviously it can be said that the result of this satisfied internal customer makes effective the smooth recall of products when it's imminent, and thanks to this effective control that they have over production, because they use the lean manufacturing, they can easily identify which vehicles are faulty, and therefore start corrective actions as well. So they are also quite transparent when they do so. So this encourages customer feedback that ultimately benefits the firm. However, the fact that these faults wasn't addressed before they reach their customers is a massive quality assurance issue, and it doesn't align with the principles of the denim cycle that represents Nissan. So I believe that this could have been avoided as well, obviously carrying own checks on the airbags, but I believe Nissan needs to apply a Six Sigma methodology to the quality assurance plan, and this way they can constantly monitor third-party components before they arrive to their consumers. Nissan, as part of the auditing process, not only looks for the non-conformance of regulations, but it also sets high standards to enable continuous improvement. So Nissan has a strong work culture, which is really good, but however, it adds a risk of bias when they are carrying first-party auditings. Therefore, as part of the requirement Nissan has, they formalize a structure where the Board of Statutory Auditors oversees the Boards of Directors, this way preventing the manipulation of results. This department handles Nissan's internal auditing tasks, and to ensure consistency, Nissan uses more than a 300 criteria-based evaluation system called ABES, and they also carry audits on the board of directors' execution of their duties. Also, as part of the requirements, Nissan gathers evidence from the outcome reached and set corrective actions and non-conformance reports as applicable. This documentation is valuable evidence of how Nissan is taking reasonable care before delivering the product to the customers, which is crucial for product liability cases. This evaluation system as well is only carried by ABES masters, which shows how Nissan is perceived as a requirement, the training of competent individuals to carry tests in a professional manner. However, back in 2017, Nissan confirmed that uncertified technicians had been conducting inspections. Therefore, it can be argued that many of the quality issues presented as the one just talked about, the Nakata incident, happened due to management negligence. And for this reason, Nissan opted into this new system as a corrective action and fulfilling the requirements for the effective and non-biased auditing of the products. So regarding Nissan and the importance of quality auditing, we can say that the auditing of the board of directors back in 2017 showed misconduct and unlawful behavior, and it allowed Nissan to act upon it and laid a 3-layer monitoring and audit system to remove completely, well, as much as they can, bias of the testings and all of the auditings as well. So similarly, vehicles in general, if they're not safe and in optimal conditions, they are a threat to public safety. This makes Nissan propense to be subject to court liability cases, and by them showing that they have carried enough checks, they will have something to back them up on the case if this was the case, as they take sufficient care of the product before they reach the customers as well. So similarly, historically, Nissan had always quite a wide range of quality issues, such as the airbags, oil leaks, even faulty transmissions. So showing that the firm cares and is acting upon complaints, it will enhance consumer retention, and this is something that they are implementing a lot in 2021, as they are carrying even more auditings in different areas of the business. So they cannot compromise the name anymore, because they have already had far too many recalls and extended warranties and due to poor quality management. Nissan this year seems to be taking even more strict audits, and it shows how Nissan is understanding the importance of carrying rigorous checks on, for example, dealerships, as these ones are customer facing. So quality auditing will enable Nissan to see failures in the processes and minimal breaches of standards that can cost them a lot. And this way they can provide training and enhance this part of the business that is so important, as they are the face of the business realistically. So back in 2019, Nissan had to recall several of the vehicles as they turn into a hazard for society. So the transmission fluid, obviously, is highly flammable. You don't want it to leak, and vehicles were literally stopping out of nowhere without warning. So based on this, it can be implied that there's something failing within Nissan's quality management system, as this is the 3rd time that they have to do this as well, about same complaint. So Nissan's CVT transmission was supposed to increase the performance of the vehicle. However, this has not been the case, which implies that no adequate care has been taken when deciding to implement this type of technology into their product. So this resulted in 400,000 vehicles being recalled, which is a good response, and obviously they're as well extending guarantees. However, it was reported that Nissan was not conducting any preventative inspections of these vehicles or preventing transmission failure. Therefore, as a solution, Nissan should carry external audits. This way they can identify where the issue truly lays in, and without any risk of bias as well. So then a non-conformance report should be raised and acted upon. And as this is a known assembly issue, CVT transmission training should be provided not only to the 23% of the business who accounts to maintenance and quality assurance, but as well to that 63% that accounts to direct manufacturing and assembly. So finally, the quality assurance check should be updated, and a systematic checkup of the transmission should be added to the quality assurance for everyone to follow. So Nissan should then inform their customers as well of the potential hazards, give them precautions, making their consumer safety a priority. It can be argued that Nissan failed to do this as the reliability of their products will be put into questions, as Nissan actually asserted that no defect existed that causes transmission failure. I believe as well that IATF certification should be achieved and provided in order for them to really meet high industry standards and to ensure that the product safety is achieved at all levels throughout the life cycle of the product. So the purpose of action plan in addressing Nissan's quality issues. So after quality issues have been identified through an action plan, Nissan can reflect as to what happened within the process that contributed to the failure load. So a good example of this is how management identified how the manufacturer had large amounts of capital tied up into stocks and in work in progress, and therefore they weren't generating revenue, they were wasting money in warehousing. So for this reason, they laid an action plan as to how to address it, and they managed to put into question the processes, and they came out with a just-in-time technology that now even all the manufacturers are starting to use. So action plans can save money, time and materials, of course, amongst other aspects of the business, and this completely links to Kaizen's approach that Nissan is famous for following. So action plans will also support Nissan when those imminent recalls happen, and through the effective planning, they can run this smoothly as possible, which is quite important as it is quite common as well. So due to the nature of the business, where every individual is taken into account when ensuring quality, can be added that action plans allows the cohesive work from all areas of the business as they get to a consensus, and they use their valuable expertise to provide feedback that can be used to be addressed quality issues, all of this while motivating their workforce. So back in 2019, the firm refused back in 2019, the firm refused government requests on Qashqai emissions. This model emits more than 17 times more nitrogen oxides. Therefore, they were branded as a scandal by environmental campaigners. The firm published a sustainability plan with key targets for 2022 as a response. For the first time, expectations were set, and objectives and timescales were clarified. This shows how Nissan laid an action plan not only to reduce the impact of the scandal by setting clear expectations, but also shaping the firm to a more sustainable future. However, this scandal could have been avoided if Nissan had an environmental quality management system in place already, such as the ISO 14001, to ensure a holistic approach to environmental impacts before releasing the product. This way, they could have protected their reputation, their image, and they could have definitely increased their customer base. So now we're going to look at the role of managers and teams in responding to quality issues, and we will be using Nissan's corporate hierarchy scheme. So at first we have the steering committee, which is in charge of passing any recommendations to the Alliance Board concerning common programs and activities. Therefore, they need to be on top of what's been said about them outside, and as well as any internal issues, so they can pass it up and put a strategy in place. So as they implement the strategic goals and therefore in response to any quality issue, they must monitor the implementation of the decisions made by the Alliance. They will manage every natural team and cross teams within the company as well, meaning that they need to make sure that they are fully trained and able to adhere to Nissan's total quality management way of working. So the cross-company teams uses the expertise of different areas of the business to identify quality issues. So therefore they need information from all levels of management, and they need to make sure that they're taking decisions that benefit the whole company and not only isolated areas. Obviously, they as well need to pass any concerns up through the chain of command. Then we have our functional task teams. These ones are expected to optimize their strategies. So the functional task teams, in response to quality issues, they are expected to optimize and make recommendations as to how to ensure continuous improvement. And then we have your lowest level on the hierarchy level, your task teams, which they must use their multi-directional communication systems to escalate concerns, as well as being confident at supporting the steering committee when addressing quality issues, for example, by implementing corrective actions such as calling products or extending guarantees. So we could say as well that the higher up level of management is more about preventing, where the lower level of management, as they are in charge of the operations and they carry daily tasks, they are more about taking corrective actions and following what higher levels of management are saying.